So today we are at the Independence Palace here in Ho Chi Minh. You're gonna walk around the grounds. Gonna have a look at the Independence Palace or Reunification Palace. This was the seat of the South Vietnamese government, and where the North forced the unconditional surrender at the end of the war. Let's have a look, and yeah, it should be good. That is the palace in the background behind the waterfall. Just walking around this massive roundabout. There's a couple of tanks in the background. I'm guessing those are North Vietnamese tanks. Here's a view of one of the tanks. I'm guessing this is probably a North Vietnamese tank that was left over. You can definitely tell this building is frozen in time. I said you could definitely tell this building is frozen in time. Because talk about retro 60s it's utterly a massive building. So here's what, I don't know, foreign dignitaries or the later South at the time would have seen as you come down the steps from this palace. Just, you know, on the grounds, as you can see, it is a massive spectacle. So here we have a banquet hall. So, the original palace down in the bottom and the modern one up the top. Here we have the cabinet room for the Prime Minister and his ministers. So this is where the Prime Minister and his ministers met. Here we have a conference hall. The sheer size of this conference hall. Sorry. Just the sheer size of this conference hall. So you've got someone sitting there yelling at this guy here. So this is a conference hall. So just think, someone over right down the front there, right, yelling at this guy sitting right here. Now we are heading downstairs to where I believe they have the bunkers in the palace. A shooting gallery. An awesome looking Mercedes. So this would be the palace kitchen, it looks like. Pretty big, given it's actually a decent sized kitchen if you think about it. It's actually a decent sized kitchen. Given this is a palace room, is what would be your basic security room. Yeah, you can't go that way. A whole lot of nothing. Hope you go down that way. Oh, okay. This is the President's War Room. President's bedroom. Pretty modest bed. No. Like these are just offices. Just keep going. High frequency communications. These are just communication. Switchboard room. What?
Make that known to the camera. Don't ask me down here.
Nah, something here. Talk about, like, wow. Jesus. Oh, so this is the command center. It is very hot down here as well. This is definitely the bunker. It's like a push button. Yeah, it's the bunker.
Just in case you wall or something.
Yeah. That way. There's a sunroom. No. It's fine. Ow. What? Oops. Here's the Vice Presidential Office. With a modern
Good. Go up and down, up and down.
yeah.
So are we on the next one?
Yeah. So this is the Vice Presidential Office. pretty modest when you think about it. This is the Vice President's reception salon. Here's a picture of Nixon. Future U.S. President Nixon. Big room. Here's a view of the palace from the balcony on the second floor. Tell me that's not grand for receiving. Here we have the presidential reception room. So here's the first reception room. Pretty modest.
Because there's generally up and down.
Yeah.
And different
Yeah.
places dating.
Yeah.
Different places.
So this was the National Security Council chamber. And a phone to everywhere. The presidential office. Whether or not this is how it was then. A grand chandelier. This is the ambassador room. Ooh. Talk about pomp and ceremony.
This is really confusing.
What do you mean? Private apartments.
So they also combine investments and Asian culture. So I can take it as well. So this guy they designed an Asian style.
Can't really see anything. Oh, there you can.
I doubt. Hey, I'm not.
Nah. What?
Oh, yeah, wardrobes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tell me that's not a wardrobe.
Might have lots of clothes.
This is the presidential bedroom. Go. We don't. Go. Let's go. Here.
The way they did the floor.
The old style television. The old style television. The old television. Talk about living like a king. It's private residence. And a pool table and a piano. The view from the top floor of this place. Talk about when you're standing here, right? Like this window, this particular window, and you just look straight down the street. So this is the private cinema. Or stage, yeah, but cinema, stage, same thing, I guess. A presidential dining room. A library of sorts. With the world's biggest desk. Yeah, library room. Yes, this is the library. U.S. helicopter up there. The projection room for the cinema. Jesus. Hey everyone, so I hope you enjoyed the video of the walkthrough of the Independence Palace. Look, it was definitely interesting to look at. A lot of the rooms were quite big. There was a whole lot of meeting rooms. There was a cabinet room. There was a room for ambassadors to present themselves. You had a vice president meeting room, a presidential meeting room, a first lady reception room. There was the vice presidential office and the presidential office. I thought the vice presidential office looked slightly better than the presidential office. Like there was more going on in the vice presidential office. Then you had the presidential suite on the very top floor. That was interesting. And then the bunker down the bottom. That was even more not interesting, but interesting to see, in the fact that, like, during wartime, there would have been tons of people running through there doing various tasks. It would have been chock full of people. Whether in communications, the president's generals, whatever, his advisors. And there was also like a private sort of apartments, pretty basic bed, table, dining room that were probably for dignitaries who were staying there. But yeah, look, the Independence Palace was definitely interesting. For its time, it was huge. It was definitely huge. I mean, in the presidential suite, which is on the third floor, he had his own bloody cinema. The dining room was massive. He had a piano and pool table. Yeah. Like I said, there was a lot to see, and I hoped you enjoyed the walkthrough. If you've been there, let me know your thoughts on the comments, or let me know what you thought of the video in the comments. And as always, I will see you all again real soon.